Welcome to Tech Wells. We can see how investment can be for a startup, even for the investor that is investing in any startup. Join us every Friday, 12 p.m. West African time, as we discuss everything about startup investment in the world of blockchain, crypto, and fintech in Africa, only on CoinNewsExtraTV.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first episode of this amazing show that comes your way every Friday, 12 p.m. West African time, live on CoinNewsExtraTV. It's called Tech Wells. So it's a beautiful program every that comes your way every week that will talk about everything that is happening in the investment ecosystem when it comes to the blockchain and fintech. But investment is very, very vital. It's just like when no matter how good a vehicle is, how beautiful it is, if it doesn't have a petrol fuel, it cannot move. So that's what investment does to a startup. So no matter how beautiful your ideas are, if you don't have investment or to fund those ideas, it's going nowhere. So that's why we are bringing this show to you. So if you're a startup founder or you're looking to venture into the startup ecosystem or an investor looking for great startups to invest in, this is a very good show for you to join every weekday, every Fridays to discuss around this. So we see how it is. A lot of investments are coming into the blockchain ecosystem. I see a lot of investors are looking at the Web3, blockchain, crypto, and fintech. Even here in Africa, a lot of investors are coming in, and it's a very fertile ground. We see blockchain is an emerging ecosystem, so a lot of investors are trooping in, looking for how to the best startups to invest in. So today we're going to be looking at amazing topic for the day. We're going to be looking at getting ready for funding as a blockchain startup. So if you're a blockchain startup, you have a business in the blockchain ecosystem, and you're looking to how can you raise funds. So we have our guests who are joining us, or guests who have really gone through that process when it comes to investment. So you can hear from them and also hear about their stories, how they were able to go through this process, and some of the opportunities that are in the ecosystem. Uh,
We are back.
Jack, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you and I can see you.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Very, very happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and congrats on the launch of this weekly program. Very happy to take part in it.
Yes, it's our pleasure having you on the show. So we have also another guest that will join us very soon, who is Vachelavi Davidov, who is the CEO of QuickToken. I believe he will join us later on. So let's move to the conversation of the day. Jack, getting ready for funding as a blockchain startup. You've been through this process. So how was it for you when you were getting ready for funding your project Arise?
We have done quite a few different things in Arise, which permits me to talk about different subject matters and different ways of doing it. In 2017, our first funding round was completed as a pre-sale as an ICO. So we designed a token called Rise Tokens. We built tokenomics around this token, a business model to support the underlying business which the token ran on. And we managed to raise money in a pre-sale by offering this ICO token. Now, in crypto funding, there are many, many different ways which are being utilized and being explored. And since the ICO days in 2017, the entire ecosystem saw the ICO crash, and after that, we saw the STO hype, and we've seen different kind of waves. We've also seen NFTs and people using NFTs to raise capital. Um, so I would say that some of the traditional ways of raising money, of course, are still relevant and are still valid. However, with crypto and Web3, companies can raise funds in different ways, in maybe more inclusive ways, in maybe from more individuals, more people. And Arise has tried a few different things. We've done ICOs, we've done hybrid investment rounds where we offered both equity in the company as well as tokens, the Rise token. Um, so I would say there is no definitive and one size fits all answer, but the advantages of raising money through crypto and Web3 and token sales is that you basically have an online business or online scalability model, which is unmatched when you look at how the real world, the analog world with stocks and shares and bonds and bills and all that works. So companies can do a lot. They can do a lot real quick. And companies from all over the world can raise money globally and appeal to investors globally. Um, yeah, that was some of my initial thoughts on the subject matter. I'm sorry, sir, you're muted. I think you're muted. I can't hear you.
You're saying. So it's a very good option here. You made mention about the hybrid investment. You made first of all did ICO, and also you did second stage. You did a hybrid investment. So that's a very nice one. I see. This is a very I would like to say an age which the blockchain startup have over some other ecosystem whereby you can also have option to sell your tokens. But there are a few questions around that. How are you able to juggle to go through the regulations around these token sales? And secondly, how are you able to add value? You know, anybody, any startup can come up with a token. How are you able to add value to the token to convince investors?
I think that's a great question. And one of the things that we saw during the early 2017 ICO times was that every single company and their friends were making tokens. You had so many tokens just being created, and the reason that whole ecosystem crashed, or not the whole thing, but many of the ICOs and the companies that did ICOs are not relevant today, is because it was more a matter of creating a token really quick and trying to raise money really quick, instead of trying to really build an interesting token, like interesting tokenomics, and doing all of the hard work related to staying diligent in creating such instruments. For Arise, before we even sold one single Danish krona, we built an entire prospectus. We sent this to the Danish financial authorities. We had discussions with them back and forth, and of course, we had our own legal view on what we built before we even launched it. Um, so for us, it was about confirming a set of rules that we were not under those sets of rules, and that, for example, we only offered Rise tokens to accredited investors, that we only offered Rise tokens if people passed a compliance process with us, with proper proof of residency and proper identification documents, That was, however, necessary in our situation. So again, it's not a one size fits all. You could have tokens which are essential to running the product itself. Let's say a utility token. Now that will have its own set of rules. You could also have what's called a governance token, which can have its own set of rules. So in terms of legislation and how to make sure that what you do is legal, I suggest to look into rules that already exists rather than trying to make new rules. So for example, our token sale followed the exemption rules for capital markets, and we followed all of the prospectus rules and did not publicly market a financial instrument. And so for Arise, we didn't need a new rule to fit our token. We made our token fit existing frameworks. And look at these tokens as similar to stocks or all the A shares or B shares or all types of financial instruments, IOUs or debt certificates. These are all kind of regulated or semi-regulated instruments, but they exist in a framework already. So I would suggest to look into which frameworks already exist. And if you have a company and you created, let's say, a utility token, but you are in a country that does not understand utility tokens, do not have rules and laws around utility tokens, well, then fortunately, we have the internet and we have global accessibility. So I would say dare look at jurisdictions which maybe has the framework that you're looking for, or has a set of rules and nuances that you can use to launch. That's why people look at Malta and offshore jurisdictions and Liechtenstein and all kinds of places which are trying to be first movers. Yeah. I'm sorry, sir. Again, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm talking to our audience. It's still TechWell's startup funding and investors world. So today we are looking at getting ready for funding as a blockchain startup. So I would like, if you're just joining us and you are viewing this show, information is very, very important in the blockchain and crypto ecosystem. So it's good that we share knowledge and we share the information that we have to people around us. And those are one of the things that motivate us here at CoinNewsExtraTV. So it's important that if you are joining us, you are watching the show, please share this live stream, share it across on social media, because we are broadcasting live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Don't forget to follow CoinNewsExtra across all our social medias. At CoinNewsExtraTV to get the daily news about this industry. So we have two guests. Visacelav Daridov. He just joined us, CEO of Quick Token. You are welcome to the show.
Hello, sorry, I'm not Vyacheslav, I'm Yuri, but also from Quick Token. I'm Yuri Yanovich, CTO of Quick Token. Hello, Jack. Hello, Lee. Nice to see you and hear you. Yeah, and thank you for the audience to join us.
It's a pleasure having you on the show. Let's kickstart with you here. How would you rate the startup in the blockchain? Are they appealing to investors? Do investors see it as a very good option to invest in, seeing that there are other ecosystems?
Nowadays, attract investment is a big deal, as you already mentioned and discussed a bit. As per our approach, we use both investment into tokens, so we have IDO, and also we are open to a kind of more or less traditional investment into our shares. And that is our approach. Nowadays, yes, for sure, attract money is difficult because market goes down, and people expect in 2017 or in 2020 expected to have X multipliers. into the assets in crypto, but nowadays it is difficult to attract such multipliers in crypto. So we try to meet investors' expectations in traditional currency. Yeah, it is always good when your project, your product has a utility token and your token is useful. And moreover, if your project is not purely Web3 project, but has some value in a traditional world, financial market, development market, or whatever, maybe in this case it is easier to show traction of the audience to your project and a relation to some real growth. Of course, we can't ensure the growth of any project, but we can do our best and hope that it will be good. So yeah, as usual, we have tokens and we provide tokens in our case, and we also open for shares. That is our approach.
Talking about getting ready for funding as a blockchain startup. Let's look at, just tell us how has it really been for you as the CEO of Quick Token. How have you been able to run Quick Token and also be able to raise funds around these operational funds among the rest of them? Just share a bit about your story.
Well, our story is as follows. So Vyacheslav Davidov is PhD in economics and engineering, and I'm PhD in mathematics. And Vyacheslav has more than 20 years experience in banking sector. Including more than 15 years leading risk department of a large bank. And he knows pain of this market, of financial market and risk management in banking sector. And he has known about blockchain technology around 2017 and 2018, started to think in this direction, what can he create in this area. And he came to me, and I, as a technical and mathematical guy, told, okay, it is doable. Why not? Let's create a project. And Vyacheslav is a driver, I'm a technical guy, and our idea is to meet banking sector with distributed network of investors over the Web3 world. And the key feature of the project is in a tokenization of financial assets, which meets regulators' needs, regulators' demands. So as our colleague Jack just told, one of the approaches is not to build your own rules, but to meet existing rules, off-chain rules, traditional rules. And financial sector is a well-regulated sector. For example, banks in more than 28 jurisdictions, including UAE, China, Russia, and many other countries, they follow strict banking rules listed in Basel committees, Basel reports and frameworks. And these frameworks told us how to work here and there, and we just want to work in the same direction, obey these rules, but with the blockchain technology, we can create a kind of new instrument which will be okay from the regulator's point of view. And it is not only our idea, self-contained, but we also tested this idea in different directions, including a regulatory sandbox of one country, including more than 20 scientific papers in peer-reviewed journals. So yeah, that's how we came with our idea.
Interesting. This is still Tech Wells. I'm still enjoying the show. Startup funding and investors world. Very insightful it has been so far. This is the first episode. So we are going for a short break. When we return, we continue with the conversation. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Tech Wells. We can see how investment can be for a startup, even for the investor that is investing in any startup. Join us every Friday, 12 p.m. West African time, as we discuss everything about startup investment in the world of blockchain, crypto, and fintech in Africa. Only on CoinNewsExtraTV.
It seems we are back. I can't hear you.
You see Tech Wells live on CoinNews Extra TV. We are live across all our social media handles. You just join us anywhere on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So we are streaming live at these places. So we are still talking about getting ready for funding as a blockchain startup. I don't know if you have questions, our audience, if you have questions that you feel you want to ask about startup investment, do feel free to drop it on the comment section. We'll be able to get to that. We still have a few minutes before we wrap up the show. Let me come back to you, Jack. Is the market really affecting you? The crypto market, will I say turmoil, really affecting your business? If not, how were you able to navigate around that as a startup?
I think that if you are swimming in the crypto seas, you should be aware that it is very muddied water. Like things can change really, really, really quickly. That's both in terms of regulation, but also how the perception of the general public is in crypto. The same goes with the technology shares. Most popular tech stocks have had a hard time the last year's time. So global changes can, of course, force any company into having to navigate and change direction. As I mentioned, in early 2017, we completed an ICO. But since then, we have sold shares and hybrid rounds, and we have done different kinds of funding rounds. And I think it's important that you don't, as a company, necessarily stick to the first principle, the first idea that you might have, but explore opportunities that may come. When we had the STO hype last year, we did look at, well, would it make sense? And do we believe in securities markets and securities exchanges in Web3 or don't we? But it's important to explore those opportunities and not be scared of changing direction. Arise has just recently, I think less than a month ago, or maybe around a month ago, raised 2.5 million Danish krona, which is between $300,000 and $400,000, as an interim round to have enough capital for the launch of our products, which we are right now doing. Now that funding round, even though it was a smaller funding round, and we have done several larger rounds, the amount of work that went into raising that money and the amount of due diligence and scrutiny and questions that investors had was a lot. And I kind of wish that kind of skepticism was there before as well, because then maybe companies like FTX or Celsius or Luna or many of these other companies that have, not destroyed crypto, but have really messed up a lot of things, they maybe wouldn't have gotten that far. A final thought I want to share is that the advantages of crypto fundraisings should be very, very apparent if you choose to go that direction. Don't raise money through crypto because you think it's easy or because it's going to be quick. Like those things it's over. We don't have that anymore. It's not easy and it's not quick. But if you take it seriously and you put emphasis on community building, on scaling through partnerships, on different interesting token models, and if there's a reason for a token, then yes, incorporate a token and raise money through a token. But don't be like, oh, I have a company emptying trash cans, let's make a trash can token. Like that, those times are over, in my view, in my humble opinion.
Yes. Okay, Jack, talking about funding, you know you've gone through it. How was the funding process for you with Arise? How did you deal with rejection? I know it's not easy to raise funds from investors. Some many, if not many, they will turn you down when you come with that proposal. How did you deal with that?
Well, for example, this latest funding round, we initially thought that we would offer a convertible note agreement, and we spent quite a lot of energy on designing the framework for that note. And then market conditions changed, and we had to change with it. So we went actually to our advisory board. We went out and recruited a secondary advisor who is a financial expert. Together with this advisor, we designed a new funding round, which was different than the convertible note. It was like a hybrid token equity sale. And we connected with a Scandinavian group of investors called Keystones Network, which we knew from early rounds. So this time it was about utilizing our network, speaking with our advisors, and being brave enough to change our minds and not being like insisting on doing it the first way or the first idea we had. So this was completed in that way. One of our first funding rounds was completed mainly through community building, being involved in Scandinavian crypto circles, attending conferences, building awareness, like being out there and telling people about this thing, which is Arise and Rise tokens and a product, digital cash. So again, there's not a one size fits all. We've also done funding rounds which primarily included equity from professional networks with less interest in tokens. And we have also completed pure token sales, like for mostly crypto investors who are solely interested in the crypto part of it. So there are many ways to roam, and be brave enough to look at the different options there is, both from the old school world, but also with new Web3 options.
Thank you very much, Jack. Thank you for that insight. Let me go to Daridov. Did the crypto market, with what is happening, the FTS crash and all the rest of them, did it really affect your business? If no, how did you navigate around that?
Well, for sure, things changes. I'm in crypto professionally from 2016, and we've seen several big rises and big downs since that time. And for example, from the perspective of crypto investments, now the things are pretty different. For example, if we consider like classical ways, starting from ICOs, ICOs was like Wild West without any regulation. There were a lot of nice and interesting projects, but there were a lot of waste of strange projects as well. And there were no need in anything to ask for money. So you just published your PDF document called white paper, tell that, okay, we have a bright idea and we have a strong team as we think. And then you attracted some money. Of course, it is a bad way of doing business. Since that time, so a lot of projects were banned by SEC. So then we came to IEO, now with IDO, and with each change of the letter in the middle of this world, we decreased the raised amount by different projects. So if for ICOs we've seen like billions of attracted money. With IEOS, it was 100 millions, and now we are talking about millions. And but the ticket decreased. Total ticket raised by companies decreased, but there are also good things around it. The good things is that nowadays the community is more strict to the project, and we see that you need to show some work with community to raise money. You need to be public to raise money, and you need to think about a lot of things. For example, ICOs launched their like ERC20 token, and that's it. So we have a hope that our project will be unicorn. So please invest into us without any idea about tokenomics inside the project or other technical stuff. Nowadays, then you publish information about your tokenomics, be ready for smart questions by community. So why there wouldn't be high volatility in your asset? Maybe some parameters of your tokenomics are bad. Maybe your project will need to sell your project's tokens, and so that it will decrease the price. And it will decrease it dramatically. Or there are some other technical things, technical problems with the project. So stable, for example, Luna stable coins. Stable coins are stable, but only until some certain moment. Unfortunately, we've seen it for several players. Yeah, let's hope that other stable coins will keep stable. Also, there are some problems with crypto flows. So in 2017 or 18, a lot of users used blockchain market like with usual Web2 authorization with like email and password, and most of the things happened off-chain. For example, if you want to exchange something, you needed to come to centralized exchange, and that is how a lot of other projects and problems with money went down. Nowadays, the technical situation is much better, like wallet authorization by is a common thing.
Sorry, I have to cut you short because of our time.
Yeah.
So just lastly, I just want to get your input about this. Lastly, before we draw the curtain, what would you say to any blockchain or crypto startup looking to raise funds? What would you say to them? Just in 1 minute.
Excuse me, what?
Blockchain or crypto startup looking to raise funds just in 1 minute.
So examples of the project who raised money, or our approach to raise money.
What did you say? I said your advice to any startup trying to raise funds. What's your advice?
What is my advice? Build community.
Yes.
Be as open as possible. So open your GitHub. Be open in social medias. Work with your community, and people will trust in your brilliant project.
Blockchain startup looking to raise funds. What's your advice?
I would say the advice from Yuri was really, really good. I think the importance of community building and staying true to your community is important. Arise has probably 350, 360 early token holders. We have not issued our own token yet, and it's only a private token as of today. But the 350 token holders are essential for Arise. They have been a part of our community from day one. They are a part of giving credibility to Arise. And I believe that one of the advantages of raising money through crypto is that you can get individuals to invest or join your community without all of the traditional hurdles that you would have with a traditional stock sell or stock listing or share sell, anything like that. So the community building aspect of it is really, really important. So I agree with Yuri. And I would also combine it with the fact of saying, don't put a token into a concept that doesn't need a token. You know, there are a lot of things happening in technology outside of Web3. You can do a lot with cloud native services. You can do a lot with local, siloed companies and partners. So you could build an amazing business without Web3. However, if there are elements of your business which are focused around democratization or opening up access to more people, or thinking about how the future of financial inclusion might be, then naturally there are many ways of looking at a token sale. But no need to limit yourselves. There are many ways of raising money, and I think that the companies that will succeed over the next decade are the ones who are able to adapt. Times are changing really, really quickly, and maybe in a year from now, people are raising money through, a different model, a different mechanism. So be on top of what's going on, build your community, be honest, be transparent, and as transparent as you can be, and recognize that these are new times. This is a new era where transparency and openness is really, really, really important. We in Arise put emphasis on that. Yuri did mention something about stable coins, and I agree. Arise, our key products are stable coins. We call it digital cash, and we have an e-dollar, an e-euro, and an e-pound. Now that's our technological product, and it has taken 5 years or even more to develop, because we had to make sure that a stablecoin is actually stable. Also, if there is a depeg, also if there is a hack or a crash or a this and a that. So put a lot of energy into your product, whether it's an app to collect trash or it's a stablecoin CBDC product. And also then ask yourself, do I need a token to make this a reality? Does a token fit in? And if yes, then speak with people who understand crypto and can help you designing interesting tokenomics based on the needs of the company. Don't just go and build a token, and you could ask ChatGPT to make a token for you if you wanted to. That doesn't make it a good token.
Enjoyed the conversation. He said our community building is very, very important. So startup founders should look at community building and do not include tokening in your idea that don't necessarily need a token. So very insightful conversation it has really been. And this is how we are going to draw the curtain. I know some questions are there because of our time. I will not be taking it. So we don't want this conversation to be that long. So thank you very, very much, our guests, for joining us today. We really appreciate it. So our audience, please do well to follow us across all our social media if you want to stay informed about what is happening in the blockchain and crypto fintech ecosystem in Africa and the rest of the world. Follow us across all our social media at CoinNewsExtraTV. So thank you. We see Tech Wells. We are startup funded and investors meet head to head. So thank you, Jack Nicolosi and CEO Arise, for joining us on the show. Thank you, Vachalav Daridov, our CEO of Crypto, for joining us on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
We have a question from community.
What did you say?
We have a question from in chat. Maybe we should answer it.
Okay. Well, the question, okay, to be displayed on the list. So it's saying there since we want to take the questions, if there is it a good option to receive payment in token or in bank transfer when raising funds?
So, Jack, please proceed.
There is not a one size fits all. It depends on what you're doing. For Arise, when we did some of our funding rounds, we accepted fiat into our bank. We didn't accept crypto. We didn't touch crypto. We didn't do anything of the sort. Only accepted fiat because we needed proof of funds and proof of residency and proof of identity and whatnot. So in our situation, that was the option. However, Lots has happened in crypto since 2017. And if I were to raise funds today, I would absolutely include, thinking about stable coins and crypto as a funding round, because you can trade them so easily today. Like if you get Ether, you can swap it to a stable coin. So you don't need to take the currency risk or the risk associated with having volatile cryptos. So I can't advise to do one or the other. But if I say, is it advisable to get paid in tokens or cash? Well, I would say cash, because you're running a business, you're paying taxes in cash and in fiat, and you're denominating all in fiat, and you're paying salaries in fiat. You don't want volatility and currency risk. Many of the ICOs who raised crypto money, they lost it all when the price went down. Arise didn't, because everything was in fiat. That my 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree, Jack. So for company, for sure, it is easier to get cash. To avoid volatility risks, it is better to accept either fiat or stable coins, not like traditional coins like Ether. And also, it is a question how is it easy for investor to invest or not? We have borders, we have different tax regulation in different countries, and sometimes it is easier to get tokens as a payment because of these issues. And then the ticket size is quite small. Of course, again, it is easier to get tokens. But if the ticket is reasonable and there is no problem with borders and other issues, then cash is the best option for companies. Yeah. Okay, it seems there is dark in studio. Hopefully. It seems that we have no more questions in chat.
I agree with you with the fiat part. I think we both agree, Yuri. But it's funny if you accepted crypto, let's say stable coins today for a funding round, you would get the stables, but it would be so hard converting those into regular fiat for salaries and regular payments. Say if you got $200,000. Yes, sir.
Okay, continue, please.
If you got $200,000 in a stable coin, if you need to sell those stable coins somewhere, you need to register, let's say, on Kraken or Binance or Bitstamp or whatever, on an exchange to sell those. And none of those exchanges would accept you to sell hundreds of thousands of dollars without proper ID, without proper due diligence. So stable coins and crypto funding can be great if you plan to keep it in crypto, not if you plan on exiting and then paying salaries to folks.
Yeah, completely agree. Thank you for an interesting talk. Thank you for your invitation.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guests. Thank you, guys. It's really an amazing conversation. If we leave you guys will continue today. It's a very interesting conversation, I really must say. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. We will continue the conversation maybe some other time. Thank you. For our audience, do well. We will be coming your way again this Friday, next week Friday, with this show, Tech Wells. And also do well to join us by 4 p.m. West African time for Week in Review. We're going to be bringing you the top headlines in the world of blockchain, crypto, and fintech, things that have happened in the world of crypto, blockchain, and fintech for this week. So do well to join us by 4 p.m. West African time. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to Tech Wells. We can see how investment can be for a startup, even for the investor that is investing in any startup. Join us every Friday, 12 p.m. West African time, as we discuss everything about startup investment in the world of blockchain, crypto, and fintech in Africa, only on CoinNewsExtraTV.